Hey, fragrance friends and lovers, what is your scent of the day? What are you wearing? Let me know in the comment sections below, but you came here to know if this has been reformulated. This is the Gurelain Homme. This is the EDP version. I haven't tried the new bottle, the new packaging of the regular version, the EDT, but this is the EDP, and this is the one. I like the EDP better than the EDT, but both were great. And there was also a boisé, a fresh woody version of the fragrance. I don't think that they've continued that fragrance going forward, but this is still in production. We'll talk about the price, the value, but the biggest thing you want to know at the end of the video, but what you want to know right now is, has it been reformulated? And yes, I'm going to tell you straight off, it has been reformulated. Before we even talk about the notes and the composition, yes, it's not as deep as it used to be, it's not as sweet, and it's not as rich. So it does take away from it, but is it a bad fragrance? Let's talk about that. First off, Gurelain, I do think it's bad that they reformulated it. Maybe they wanted to make it a little bit more wearable or modern. It is a little bit more transparent. It's not as deep or heavy. I did feel like the original wanted to be almost like a sophisticated date fragrance or out on the town, almost something like Boisé de Portugal by Creed, something sophisticated and traveled. And this perhaps makes it a little bit more of a daily or anytime wear fragrance. But anyways, let's talk about the notes. You might not even be familiar with the notes here. You get a mojito-like vibe. That's what this DNA is famous for, so it has mint. This has more of a spearmint to it. They've changed it up a little bit. It's a little bit more of a spicy mint. There is rum. There's some citrus off the top, so a little bit, but it's not super bright citrus, but it's classy and refined. They say there's a floral heart, which is definitely a lot of geranium here, maybe mixed with some clary sage and maybe some other florals. Very respectable DNA. In the dry down, you get the bigger notes are cedar and patchouli. There's supposedly a few other things snuck up here in like vetiver. Really, I get a musk as well. The musk is kind of aged, giving this a tiny bit of a sour feel and a little bit of an aged feel. Maybe a tiny bit animalic, not overtly so, just the smallest hint of that. Maybe it's just my skin chemistry. But I did feel like that came out a little tiny bit in the background. So interesting fragrance here. It's playful, it's fresh, but also sophisticated, and some people still might feel a little bit too vintage for their taste. There's a young guy wanting to party and club. This is something that he might not reach for, but if you want a business fragrance, if you love things like Grey Vetiver by Tom Ford, this might be more of your wheelhouse, or something more that you respect or approach, or something that might entertain you. Not a bad fragrance. Again, this is not as good as the original. In my opinion, is it more versatile for more people? Perhaps so. Is this something you might want to wear in the daytime, when the original was maybe more of a nighttime fragrance? Maybe that's a positive for some people, but I like the depth of the original. I like the complexity and the weight and the balance of it. It was a great one. And the sad thing is, I don't think a lot of people knew about that one, or tried it, or listened to me. I talked about it not being around forever. I talked about how good it was, and I tried to get the word out. This is not going to be the same. It's just not. The lime doesn't hit you as much. It's just not the same fragrance. But it's not a bad fragrance. But there's certainly something to be said at the end of the review regarding the price. There's something to say. Anyways, not a bad fragrance. The performance, not bad either. Let me show you the sprayer. It's not a bad sprayer. Gurelain knows what they're doing. It's more of a 6 or maybe 7 hour fragrance. The original lasted an extra hour or two. You're not getting exactly the same performance. When I do spray this on skin, I do get a little bit of an alcohol blast that maybe makes it feel a little bit even fresher, which maybe they wanted to give it that feeling of a little bit of a freshness, you know, a menthol, wake you up kind of feeling, without changing the DNA into more of a citrus fragrance. Maybe that's what they wanted to do, but for Gurelain and this price, which we'll talk about, I really don't like that you're hit with an alcohol blast, and especially when it's an EDP, and if I buy an EDP, I intentionally maybe don't even want that kind of feeling. So I think that that's a negative already. But it's not a bad fragrance. It projects decently, maybe slightly above average, not a super strong projection, but I don't know. And it lasts a decent amount of time. Again, about 6 hours, maybe 7 you can get out of this. So Compliment factor, this is a sophisticated fragrance, but it's also a little bit fun because of the booziness and the rum. I do love rum. It's one of my favorite notes. And the spearmint here, maybe a little bit spicier so it feels a little bit warmer. Maybe it's going to feel a little bit comforting. It's a good blend. I still think it's a solid fragrance. But again, with the addition of the spiciness, it slightly reminds me of some other fragrances. So it doesn't exactly feel as original to me. Even though the original EDP version wasn't the most complex fragrance, the vintage formulation, it wasn't, terribly creative, but it worked and it felt like its own unique DNA. With this addition of spiciness, I think that takes away a little bit from that with this peppermint. That's just my opinion, though. It's a good blend. It's of everything that you'd really want in a sophisticated, modern gentleman's fragrance. This is solid juice. My final thoughts with this fragrance, I'm going to keep it short. I think I'm, getting straight to the point, trying not to waste anybody's time. They're wanting to retail. Again, you might be able to find it for a sale out there. Maybe you can get it out there for $60, $70 odd. But Gurelain, from their website, is charging $125. And if you did find this wherever they're selling it, full retail, they're charging $125 for this. Though I think it's a step up from the average designer fragrance. Maybe a little bit. It's not as good as it used to be. And you're charging more money. I can't stand. I know that right now prices are going up, inflation, all kinds of other problems going on. Supply and demand, all kinds of things. But when you give us an inferior product for a higher price, and it's not just a little bit, it's not just $20 like Bulgari, snapping up a little bit extra of your money. The original was like an $80 fragrance, $90 fragrance or so. They're paying an extra $50 odd for a fragrance that's cheaper to make, to me, is quite, a big negative. And I do want to get gentlemen onto this fragrance. It's a nice option. It's still a good fragrance. But Chanel's Pour Monsieur, I'd recommend that. If you can get it for a good deal, Creed's Boise de Portugal. There's 10 a.m. Flirt by Kieran NYC if you really love that floral aspect. There's still the Terre de Hermes, fragrance out there for a fair price. So, I don't know. I don't feel like I can really justify you paying, sometimes even twice the price of a Terre de Hermes on sale, because you can find good prices on Terre de Hermes. I don't know if I could recommend this over something like that. Really couldn't. And the Terre de Hermes probably projects better overall as well. So, not a bad fragrance, but the reformulation was real. Again, I wanted to make this review because not everybody's going to watch this review. Not everybody is going to appreciate maybe this review, but I saw almost nobody reviewing this fragrance, and I saw very few people. Actually, I don't remember seeing anybody actually review this new version in this bottle and just talk about the differences between the vintage and, the newer version, and talk about if this was a good fragrance. So, I know somebody out there, maybe you're a gent watching this one, let me know in the comment section below. Did I help you? Maybe you're out there wanting to know, is this a good fragrance? Is this still worth your money, still worth the pickup? It's decent. And it's good, but overpriced. So if you have a little bit of extra money, maybe if you really like booziness, and you really like how this fragrance sounds, maybe if you can get it for a good price, you can find it for $60 odd, maybe less, not bad. But there are better options out there for sure. So let me know how you feel about this fragrance. I want to be more positive about it because I hyped up or was really positive about the original Gurelain Homme and the EDP version before these reformulations. And it's sad to see that reformulations do happen, and they're real. And I don't think this is going to devastate the community. This is not the most beloved fragrance. Almost nobody talks about this DNA anymore. Again, the Ideal line is so much more popular. But, man, it's Gurelain. I wish you would have given us the original, and maybe if you did charge us an extra $50 odd, maybe we'd be satisfied. But you cheapened it, you changed it, and again, it's kind of a cop-out too. I can feel like there's a lot of musk to this fragrance, kind of creeping in and taking over the gaps, and kind of feeling in the edges where this fragrance has, you can tell things are taken out of it. Musk is likable, musk is enjoyable, but that's also, if you're a picky nose, a distinguished nose, that's also bothersome. Anyways, I'll stop going on. Hope that you enjoyed my review today. If you did, let me know in the comment section below what you think about this review. What do you think about brands cheapening their products and upping the price? I know these are tough times, but you know, you got to call them out. And I know that there's got to be a balance between the value and what the customer gets for value and companies making money. How much money are they making on these? I don't know exactly, but I'm not happy. And I can't highly recommend this unless you get it for $60 or less and you love a modern gentleman's fragrance, and that's what you're looking for. Might be worth a try. Not $125. Absolutely not, in my humble opinion. Anyways, everybody have a beautiful day. Stay safe, live well, enjoy fragrances, and again, please subscribe and like and all that good stuff to see more fragrance reviews in detail. The old school style, the old fashioned style, some people say, in my opinion, maybe the real style of reviewing fragrances, where I give you details, information that's helpful, valuable, and helps me give you an informed, information, informed view. If you are going to go out there, perhaps purchase it. But what matters is what you smell, of course, what you like. So wear what you love, find the fragrances that you like, and wear up those fragrances. Again, let me know what you think down below. I'll see you soon, everybody. Have a beautiful day. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you soon.